All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're building a blueprint for something way more than just a website. We're talking about a true enterprise-grade digital platform. A strategic asset that's actually built to drive some serious business growth. Let's get to it.
So this quote right here, this is everything. This is the core idea we're going to unpack. It's about a massive shift in mindset. You've got to stop seeing your website as just some online brochure and start treating it like a powerful, integrated digital product. It's not just about how it looks, it's about what it can do. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look, on the left, you've got your standard website. It's basically a brochure that lives online. It stands alone. But on the right, that's the enterprise platform. It's a strategic asset. It's built for crazy integrations, global scale, and rock-solid security. This isn't just a technical upgrade, it's a whole different ballgame.
So where do you even begin with something this big? Well, it's not with code, it's not with design, it starts with strategy. Before you write a single line or design a single pixel, you have to nail down the why and the what. This foundation is going to dictate literally everything that comes next. And this is the first and honestly the most critical question you have to ask. What is this platform's number one job? What's its primary mission? Are you trying to generate leads? Are you selling products? Or is it all about customer support? Defining this mission gives you focus, right? It stops you from building a platform that tries to do a million things but ends up doing none of them well. Once you know the mission, then you can figure out what the platform absolutely must do. These are its core functional requirements. We're talking about things like product pages that can actually scale, a deep resource center with blogs and white papers, powerful lead forms, maybe even cool interactive demos. This list becomes your playbook. Okay, so we've covered the what. Now, let's get under the hood and talk about the how. This is the digital engine that makes it all go. This is what truly separates a basic site from a robust, super reliable platform. And that brings us to this crucial concept, non-functional requirements. Now, I know it sounds a little technical, but it's really simple. If functional requirements are what the site does, non-functional ones are about how well it does it. We're talking speed, uptime, security, all the stuff that actually makes or breaks the experience. Here's a hard number for you. 1 second. That's your absolute maximum page load time. Anything slower than that, and you're losing people. They're bouncing, you're frustrating users, and honestly, you're damaging your brand. In the enterprise world, speed isn't just a feature, it's a fundamental requirement. And here's another non-negotiable, reliability. A 99.9% uptime guarantee, people call it 3 nines, means your site can only be down for about 8.5 hours, over an entire year. For global business, every single second of downtime costs real money. That's why this kind of resilience is so critical. Security is, of course, a huge deal, and it has to be a multi-layered defense. This isn't just about having an SSL certificate. We're talking about a web application firewall, or a WAF, to block attacks, DDoS protection to keep you online, and making sure you're compliant with major security standards. Security can't be an afterthought. It has to be baked in from day one. So, how do you actually build something that meets all these intense requirements? Well, you've got two main architectural paths. On one side, you have the modern approach, a static front end with a headless CMS. It's built for speed and security. On the other side, you have the more traditional model, which is often better for apps with really complex backend needs. Each one has its trade-offs. But for most enterprise websites today, this hybrid architecture is the way to go. You combine a static front end for incredible speed, an API backend for all the heavy lifting and integrations, and a headless CMS, so your marketing team has total flexibility. You really do get the best of all worlds: amazing performance, tight security, and it's built to scale. Okay, we've got our strategy, we've picked our architecture. How do we actually build this thing? Well, that brings us to the roadmap. This is the proven step-by-step journey that takes you from a plan on paper to a fully launched platform. And here's that journey all laid out. It starts with phase 1, discovery. That's where you define your goals. Then you move to phase 2, planning, where you create the actual blueprints and wireframes. Phase 3 is design, where the whole thing starts to look and feel real. Phase 4 is development, the big build-out. Then comes the really critical part. Phase 5, QA and testing, where you try your best to break everything. Finally, phase 6 is deployment. And you're not done. Phase 7 is all about monitoring and improving.
It's a disciplined process from start to finish. So, as we start to wrap up, let's bring it all back to that core idea from the beginning. If there's one thing you take away from this whole blueprint, it's this fundamental shift in your mindset. You're not just managing a website, you are building and owning a digital product. And really, it all boils down to this 5-step formula. This is the recipe for success. It all has to start with strategy. That strategy then informs your architecture. On top of that architecture, you layer security and you build for scalability. And when you get all of those right, that's what creates the foundation for real long-term growth. So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. I want you to look at your own digital presence. After everything we've talked about today, is it truly a high-performance digital product, or is it just an online brochure? The answer to that question could change everything. Thanks for watching.